Printables are one of the easiest and most profitable assets you can add to your business. Here's an example of a new collection of printables that I just launched last week called the Blogging Growth Planner, which is for aspiring new bloggers who want to get organized by writing things down. Now, I don't mean to brag, but aren't these pages pretty? And seriously, guys, this was not difficult to create in the least. I think it took me about an hour. So if you've wanted to create a printable or really any kind of digital product before, but you've just felt too overwhelmed by the design aspect, I'm going to show you how to create a beautiful product like this step by step. If you're new to my channel, my name is Corey. I'm a content creator and AI content expert, and it's my mission to share with you everything I know about how to make money online and the best tools for doing so. Today's video contains product placement and has been sponsored by Creative Fabrica. Creative Fabrica is a massive online marketplace for digital files, including fonts, graphics, patterns, templates, and even AI art. As a blogger or content creator, it's vital to have access to high-quality digital resources to elevate your content and make it stand out. And whether you're creating printables, designing social media graphics, or crafting eye-catching YouTube thumbnails, Creative Fabrica has got the goods. Their extensive library caters to pretty much any style and use case you can think of. Best of all, with the subscription, every download comes with a commercial license, which means that you can use any download for digital products or even physical print-on-demand products. This includes anything you create and download in CF Spark, their suite of awesome text-to-image AI tools. Now tell me if this sounds familiar. You're a content creating machine who's got the words, ideas, and passion, but there's this one thing looming over you like a dark cloud, which is digital products. Because you know that they're the next logical step in your business, but the mere idea of creating one just makes you want to lay down and take a nap. Because the list of obstacles seems insurmountable. You don't know which program to use, you're operating on a shoestring budget, and you've never really considered yourself to have an eye for design. I used to feel the exact same way. For 2 long years, I let the fear of creating digital products prevent me from even attempting one. But the truth is, it's not nearly as Herculean a task as it seems to be. All you really need is the right tools at your disposal. Digital products now make me hundreds of dollars every month, some of which I created years ago. And I would say that out of all of these types of products, the easiest to create is a collection of printables, which is any downloadable PDF file that customers can print off at home. So think workbooks, planners, calendars, checklists, cheat sheets, or organizers. If you invest an hour of your time, you can create and launch a printable product that makes you sales month after month. To that end, I'm going to show you exactly how I made this printable planner step by step, and the best part is you can totally create and launch your first product without spending a dime. The first step is to get a free Canva account. I have been using Canva for years, and I can't recommend it enough for creating any kind of graphics you need for your business. Whether it's printables, social media graphics, Pinterest images, infographics, it can do it all. They just released a ton of new features too, which makes it an even more versatile tool. Canva does have a paid pro version, but you don't need it to get started with printables. Really, you can do everything you need with the free account. All we're going to do is click on Create a Design and then Custom Size. Printables can come in all different sizes, but I recommend creating ones that fit on standard printing paper, which is 8.5 by 11 inches. So just make sure you choose inches from the drop box on the left, and then we can put 8.5 by 11. And then click the purple button here. And now you can see that we have a fresh canvas here. Now, especially for your first printable, I don't recommend doing the design from scratch by yourself. The goal here is to rip the band-aid off and create a beautiful printable in half an hour to an hour tops. And creating all from scratch is going to take you a lot longer than that, especially if you're not familiar with how to use Canva. Canva does have a lot of templates that you can use, but here's where you might run into some limitations. First of all, most of Canva's templates are one page. One page printables are fine if you're just creating something quick like a freebie opt-in for your email list, but this is a product that we want to sell, so we need our product to be more than just a couple of pages. So then your options here are to try and piece together different templates to create what you want, but that can be kind of time consuming and a little bit frustrating because these templates are created by a bunch of different people and the styles may not match, which might make it harder to brand later on and make it look like it's all supposed to fit together. The other challenge we're working with is that Canva has some confusing rules about licensing. From what I've been able to glean from their licensing policies, free elements are okay to use in sellable products, but pro elements are not. And that can be pretty limiting too, because you'll find that a lot of the best graphics are Pro. So not only would you have to pay $120 for the annual Canva fee to use the Pro elements, but you're not even allowed to use them in Printables. So for example, I wanted to feature a watercolor style laptop on my planner title page, but when I go to Elements and type in laptop computer, we can see that a lot of them have this little crown next to it, which means that it is a Pro element. And I can filter it by free elements only, but then these graphics are a lot more basic and not really what I'm looking for. My solution to these challenges is to bring in third-party templates and graphics that make it super fast and easy to design something beautiful and cohesive that you can confidently use for commercial purposes. And the site that I used to get elements for my blogging planner was Creative Fabrica. So along the top here, you'll see there's all kinds of elements you can use for your creative projects. For example, I wanted to find a pretty font to use for my planner, so I clicked on fonts and then I went to script fonts. And here we have pages of beautiful cursive fonts. And I ended up using this pretty font called Hometown. Next, I needed to find some editable Canva templates for creating my planner. So I just searched for Canva templates in the bar up top here. And we have all these Canva templates, and I found this business planner Canva template package that comes with 80 editable pages. After that, I wanted to add some visual elements to the planner to make it beautiful and unique. Since my printable is called the Blogging Growth Planner, I wanted to go with a green theme that incorporated some pretty plants into the style. So I looked up greenery, and I found this greenery watercolor collection, which was absolutely perfect. Last but not least, you'll remember that I needed a watercolor style laptop image for the front page. Now this is super cool. If you go to the Spark tab, you'll see a whole suite of AI tools, many of which are for text-to-image generators. So you can create patterns, sketches, image remixes, and more. My favorite one is called Spark Crystalline, which creates transparent PNGs. To create my transparent PNG, all I did was type in watercolor, laptop, blank screen, neutral colors, detailed shading, and it generated 8 variations of a laptop. I liked this second one here, so I published it, and now it's available as a downloadable file. You can also browse other people's creations, some of which are jaw-droppingly cool. Another thing I love about Creative Fabrica is they are super affordable. Their all-access subscription is just $9 a month, and if you use my special referral link in the description box, you'll get a free trial where you can get your first 10 downloads for free. This means you can totally create your first printable product without paying a cent. Definitely go check it out. Once you have the graphics and templates for your printable, it's time to head back to Canva and upload the goods. Most graphics will come in a zip file that you can just double-click to open. And then you can go in those files, highlight everything, and just drag them right into Canva to upload. To upload your font, you're just going to click on where it says text, and then you're going to click on add a text box, and then you're going to go to the drop-down menu, and at the very bottom here it says upload a font, and then you can upload your OTF file. To upload your Canva templates, you'll find that when you unzip the file, there'll be a PDF of some kind, and then you can click on the link in the PDF, and it'll ask you if you want to use this template. You can just click on the purple button, and now here you've got all your templates. So now it's time to start putting this thing together. The first step is to choose which templates you want to use for your planner or printable. This planner, it seems, is actually designed for an Etsy store or product shop of some kind, but I modified it to be a blog planner. I already had an idea of what I wanted my pages to look like in my planner, so I just chose templates that I could easily customize for my purposes. So for instance, this business plan summary I turned into my niche planner. So to use a template in your design, just highlight everything on the page, right-click and copy, and then on your blank page, you can just click on it and paste. And then at the bottom, you add a new page, and then you can cut and paste the next template. Let's say I want to use this one. And you just do that until you've compiled all the templates you want to use. Step 2 is to customize the content. Changing the text and elements of a template is super easy. All you do is click on what you want to move or change. So for instance, instead of calling this a business plan summary, I'm going to call it a niche planner. So I just click inside the box here and retype it. And instead of email address and phone number here, I'm just going to edit this to be domain name. And I'm going to get rid of the phone number here because I don't need it, or the second line. And I'm going to change all of this text as well. So instead of product summary, I'm going to put niche summary. Instead of what problem do you solve, I'm going to say what problem does your blog solve? And instead of what is your solution, I'm going to say how will you monetize? And I decided that as a fun feature for my planner, I was going to add ChatGPT prompts to the bottom of each page that could help the customer come up with ideas for how to fill out the sheet. But I didn't have really any room at the bottom here where I could add in a text box. So I just condensed this all by moving things around. So first I kind of moved this box to the side, and then I just highlighted all of these elements and shifted them up. And then I did the same with all these elements down here. And I decided I didn't need 3 lines for each, so I just deleted one of the lines to give me a little bit more room. So now I have a little bit of room here at the bottom of my planner, and then I just went to Elements and Lines and Shapes. I selected this shape here. I'm not worrying about colors just yet. I'm just getting the layout and content. Shift this into the middle, add my text, change the font size, and pasted my text. And I did this for each page, just making simple tweaks to the existing template to transform it into my own content. The third and last step is to brand it with your own designs and visual elements. This is the fun part. An important part of any digital product is branding and turning the templates into something that's visually unique. This is especially important when you're using templates and graphics for commercial purposes because you can't just sell a design or template as is. It needs to be a derivative work. So now we're going to combine some graphics and change up the colors. First, I'm going to make my cover or title page. You can use something from the template if you want. For example, this template does come with a couple title pages you could use, but I decided to do mine from scratch. So I just clicked on add a new page, and I just moved it up to the top using these arrows, and I added a box here. And then I duplicate it because I want to create sort of a shadow for the box. So I'm going to make this black and then use position to send it to the back. And then I added 2 text boxes. The 2 fonts I used for my project were Aileron Thin, which is a free Canva font, and Hometown, which was the script font that I got from Creative Fabrica. To change the font, you just click on the text and then go to the drop box, and you can either choose it from the list below, or if you can't see it there, you can just start typing it in to bring it up. And you can change the font color as well by clicking on the text and then clicking on colors and choosing the color you want. Now I'm going to add my laptop computer that I created using Spark Crystalline. So just go to your uploads where you uploaded all your graphics and just click on the element you want and it will appear in the document. So I'm just going to shrink this down a little bit here and add it underneath. And I also played around with the tint and brightness because I wanted to give it a more muted look. And I had this idea of adding some plants that looked like it was growing right out of the computer screen. So I just took one of these graphics and I layered it over top of the computer. And then I just cropped the bottom by clicking on the bottom and dragging it up to make it look like it was coming right out of the computer screen. Then I added this wreath to sort of frame the text box and the laptop. And I positioned it to the back. And I'm going to change the color of the text box to match the colors that are going on in this title page here. Customizing the templates is even easier. For example, you can change all the fonts at the same time just by highlighting everything and then clicking on the fonts drop box and selecting the font you want. So I'm converting all of these to Aileron Thin. And then the title of each page I want to be in the Hometown regular script. And I'm just going to remove the effects that are on that text there and change the font size. Now I'm going to start incorporating some of these beautiful greener graphics into my templates. So I'll just click on the one I want to use, and then I like to put them in the corners or in the background, position them to the back. I'm just going to click on this transparency box and turn the transparency down to 10 so that it's mostly see-through. And that way it's just faint in the background and not interfering with any other elements. Now we need to do some color matching. So I'm going to click on the font and then click on color. And you'll see halfway down on the left, you have the exact colors of the images you've used. So now I'm just going to change my text to dark green, and I'm going to change this box to the off-white that was from the laptop image. And then you'll see at the bottom here, there's a purple button that says change all. So anything that's pink is going to change to this off-white color. So you don't have to click on each element individually. And maybe I want my ChatGPT box to be a little bit darker. And then I just repeat the process for each page until all the elements are branded and customized the way I want them to be. Once you're finished with your printable and you're ready to export it, click on File and then Download. And from the file type, make sure that you're selecting PDF Standard, and then you can download. And congratulations, you have just created your first digital product ready to sell. I highly recommend hosting your printables and other digital products on Payhip because it's user-friendly and totally free to use. You only pay a commission to Payhip when you make a sale. Now that you have your product, you might be wondering, what is the best way to sell it to your audience? There are countless ways to promote and sell your product, but one of the easiest and fastest ways to make money right away is by setting up a tripwire offer. If you want to know how to set up a tripwire offer using completely free tools, I have a step-by-step tutorial you can check out here. As always, if you have any questions about anything I talked about in this video, feel free to drop them below and I'll get back to you. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.